Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, parts of the Esplanade are getting a facelift. An opening day attraction is back on track. American Idol was at the parks.
Guests can get Galaxy's Edge items at home, some new treats. We talk about our VIP tour, Club 33, and the nighttime shows, and more. DL Weekly starts now.
This is your captain speaking to you from the wheelhouse. I'd like to welcome all of you aboard the DL Weekly podcast. For safe passage on our trip, please do not sit or climb on the outside railings, and be sure to watch your children. The water can be unpredictable in these parts, and we'd sure hate to lose any of you.
Hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of May 17th, 2023. I'm Tig Bushman.
And I'm Teresa Urban. Thank you to Megan M. and Andrea M. for becoming official weekly tiers on our Patreon. Our supporters get some pretty fun perks like, of course, DL Weekly swag, some bonus content, and access to our Discord community. A special thank you to Michelle M., Benjamin S., Bonnie P., and Derek J. for your continued support. If you would like some more Disney magic in your day, head on over to dlweekly.net/support to join the community.
Well, it's that time again for our friend Eric over at Concierge to catch us up on other Disney news.
Hello, everyone. This is Eric Johnson with Concierge, and welcome to the D180. While Tig and Teresa cover all things Disneyland, in the D180 we take a spin around the rest of the Disney universe, and we do it in 180 seconds. Let's jump right in. We start our journey in Walt Disney World, where, holy cow, big news is afoot. Some of these crazy restrictions we saw put on over the past few years are finally starting to float away. Let's start with reservations, beginning with tickets purchased for January 9th, 2024 and beyond. You will no longer have to pick a park reservation. Okay, that's a long way off, but it's progress. This change only applies to those who buy regular priced single or multi-day tickets, but don't worry, annual pass holders are getting a change too. Walt Disney World will start adding good-to-go days to the calendar in 2024. These days allow pass holders to go to certain parks at the spur of the moment, no reservation required. The biggest news of all is the return of the Disney Dining Plan. Purchase a package with your resort stay and tickets and get ready for savings. Dining plans let you pay in advance for quick service and table service meals. If you have never taken advantage of these plans, they can be a bit complicated, so please check with one of our planners for the tips you need to get the full value. Vacations for the beginning of 2024 open up at the end of May on the 31st. Give our planners a call ASAP and we'll be sure to reserve a spot for you. And hey, use those dining credits on a brand new restaurant in Epcot. Taking the place of Tokyo dining in the Japan Pavilion, you can soon enjoy a new sushi experience. Shikisai Sushi Izakaya will open with brand new decor and a fun and ever-changing menu. The menu is themed to Japan's seasonal festivals, so your every visit is sure to showcase something fresh and new. All of the dishes are designed to share, so go nuts and order a bunch. I can't wait to give it a try. Japan itself downgraded its classification of COVID on May 8th. Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea have removed their social distancing measures, much like the American parks did several months ago. As such, you can once again get up close and personal with your favorite Disney characters. If that was what was holding you back from a visit to Tokyo, now's the time. Let's head a little bit further west to Shanghai, where Disney keeps moving forward on its major projects. Its Zootopia-themed land looks massive. I can't wait to see how it turns out in the end, and then see what amazing attractions come back to the American parks. If you can't wait for that, book a trip to Shanghai later this year. Their Zootopia land should open later in 2023. And that's 180 seconds. I hope you enjoyed our quick spin around the rest of the Disney universe. If you'd like to learn more about these Disney adventures or just have a few questions, please come on over. Visit the social media and websites of both DL Weekly and us, their official travel planners concierge. We look forward to planning something special for you and yours. I'm Eric Johnson, and this has been your D180.
Thanks, Eric.
Now through the end of the month, our friends at All Enchantineers are having an awesome sale. All of their 3D printed products are 15% off. So if there's some fantastic ears that you've had your eye on, or perhaps a fun coaster set or a lithophane, now is the time. Go check them out, allenchantineers.com.
Now let's get to the news. Well, guests that purchased the commemorative bricks in the Esplanade, like myself, with the 50th anniversary medallion on them, that was not me.
Yourself.
Yes. We'll love the next bit of news. Disneyland has been replacing the missing or highly damaged medallions. There was no official announcement from Disney on this, but Disneyland News today discovered the newly replaced features recently.
I was surprised. So I actually saw Chim Chim Churro posted about this. If you have ever seen the adorable videos of people going and having she does the cutest little thing. She's got these tiny little cones.
Is she the one that cleans?
And she cleans people's bricks for them. And so she actually posted, I'd seen, I think it was on Instagram, that hers had been missing, and then they noticed that ones were getting replaced, and then lo and behold, hers actually got replaced because hers was, like I said, totally missing. So I'm very very happy, but also very surprised by this because these bricks, when you got your brick, which wasn't for the 50th anniversary, it was prior to that. There was they said that they only guaranteed them to be there for a certain period of
10
time.
years.
And it's well past the 10 years for your brick. I'm going to assume that there was probably something similar when they did this wave of the 50th anniversary bricks. Maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. But I definitely didn't think they'd be replacing stuff, so that's super, super cool.
Yeah. No, I was surprised too. I was thinking that at some point in the, I don't know, somewhat near future, when we were there last, I had kind of talked about this because I'm thinking that as they get the Downtown Disney construction kind of complete, I thought that maybe one of the next projects again, I don't have any inside knowledge or anything on this. This was just an assumption.
Into your own crystal ball.
Yeah, that they would move to the Esplanade, and one of the things that's always a problem is the compass rose that's in the middle. Every time it rains, they have to put a barrier around it.
Yeah, because it's very slippery.
These were losing their medallions.
Well,
some of them are hard to read.
Yeah.
Of course, over time I've talked about the security tents and stuff could be something that's a little more permanent and that looks a little bit better than it does now. But the fact that they're replacing these makes me think, well, these are around for a while because they're not going to put money and effort into these if they're going to remove them in a couple years.
Very true. So very exciting.
Now, what I wish they would do is I wish they would sell more because I'd love to get a DLWeekly one.
Too, because there's so much more brick real estate yet to be
That's true.
To be
utilized,
marked, however you want to say it, stamped, marked, utilized, whatever. Yeah, I'm maybe since they did it for the 50th, maybe for the 75th anniversary. So we've got a little ways to go, but maybe they'll do it again for one of the other big milestones.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm looking at the map that we have on our website under my brick information because there's a map that tells you how to find them basically. And I'm pretty sure that not all of these sections are full. So they could do some more. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if they'll ever sell new ones again, I guess. But it is a nice quality of life thing and a really nice kind of bonus for those people that had those in the medallions. Disneyland News today said that people had stolen them, and I'm like, that's
really?
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that, people prying those things up. Yeah.
I suppose. I suppose. Well, an opening day vehicle has returned to Disneyland. The CK Holiday, named after Cyrus Kurtz Holiday, founder of the Santa Fe Railroad, returned to the rails recently. This engine, along with the EP Ripley, were the two opening day engines. The CK Holiday is engine number 1 on the line.
Yeah, I'm so terrible. I really don't ever pay attention to the what am I trying to say? The locomotives of the Disneyland Railroad. So to me, I guess I notice them when they go by and I take a point to read them, but I mostly am not worried. I'm mostly concerned with what rolling stock is coming behind it. I guess I pay more attention to that. So I didn't even know that it hadn't been on the line for a while.
I pay attention to the names, but I don't pay close enough attention to notice if one name has been missing for a longer period of time than others, if that makes sense. Because there's only a couple of engines out at a time. They don't have every single engine running every single day. So I'm sure there's some sort of rotation. So I don't pay close enough attention to notice if the rotation's out of whack or not.
Sure.
But I think it's exciting. I think that's very cool.
An opening day one, I think that's really awesome. It just went through some type of refurbishment. The other opening day locomotive also recently returned within the last couple of years from a 5-year refurbishment. So the two opening day things are back on the tracks.
I'm trying to think. We might have to go back and listen to the wedding episode. It may have been the EP Ripley may have come back out
during that time?
No. Now I don't remember. There was some, we were there, we just happened to be waiting. There you go. Bert and I happened to be waiting, and we commented on, like, they said we happened to be the first people on the train that they just had gotten out since COVID or something. I can't remember what, but they, like, the engineers made a really big deal, and it was just pure coincidence, pure timing that we just happened to be waiting for the train, and it just happened to come out at that point. So I don't remember, but now I don't remember what train it was. Maybe it was, but maybe it was a different train.
Yeah. Well, American Idol fans saw a familiar location on the most recent episode. The show was filmed in Disneyland for Disney Night. Contestants got to visit the resort with their moms to celebrate Mother's Day. They were able to meet with celebrity mentor Sophia Carson on the balcony in New Orleans Square. This is the one that's above the Royal Street veranda. It's attached to the 21 Royal restaurant.
And the other really cool thing that happened at Disneyland during this special episode was Halle Bailey, our new Ariel, performed her rendition of Part of Your World right in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. There was video of this. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the video of this performance, but her, like, I don't know, everything about it, the presentation, her singing, all of it was just gorgeous. She had this, her dress kind of looked like it went into like this more like larger dress that kind of looked like she was coming up out of like the water.
Oh,
beautiful. The lighting on the castle was wonderful. And then her rendition of Part of Your World. Of course, we all grew up with Jodie Benson and the classic animated version of Part of Your World. I liked this because it was similar, but also different. It wasn't like so different that you didn't recognize what the song was, but it also wasn't a carbon copy. It was a really nice balance of Halle being able to make it her own thing. I really, really enjoyed it.
Did you watch the whole episode?
No, I only watched Halle's performance.
Oh, okay. Because I know that usually when it's Disney night, because you're not like an avid Idol watcher or anything,
no, but
you
I do
usually catch the Disney nights.
I do enjoy watching the Disney nights of any.
Because you do that with Dancing
American
with the
Idol
Stars,
Dancing
too.
with the Stars usually has a Disney night, too. So, though I won't watch the full season, but I do sometimes catch just those episodes because Disney.
Yeah, of course.
Star Wars fans who would like to purchase some of the Galaxy's Edge exclusive items without going to the parks now have that option. Shop Disney has the Kyber crystals, holocrons, and Jedi and Sith variants, and a fairy creature plush, which, oh my gosh, is it adorable. I did not know this existed. Oh, there's something about the creatures of Star Wars
and the
droids of Star Wars. Yes, there was a puffer pig that I was just
endlessly excited about.
Oh, they're just so cute. So what do you think of this, being a Star Wars collector of sorts, someone who's purchased these things specifically in the park? Are you excited that they're online, or are you kind of sad that they're online?
I think it's nice that there's options for things to be online, because I know that there are times where I can't make it to the park, but I'd like to be able to purchase these things. Mm-hmm. However, I don't know. These are things that I buy in the park. I wouldn't go to Shop Disney for. I just generally don't go to shop. I mean, I'll tell you one thing about Shop Disney, and this is kind of off topic, but I just don't like the experience at Shop Disney. I don't feel like it's a good user interface. I feel like I can never find what I'm looking for on there, even though I know it's there. Yeah, but even though I know it's there, sometimes I can't find what I do want to find. Do you know what I mean? So it's just kind of tough there, I guess. But
there's, I'm looking at Shop
Star Wars
Disney
Galaxy's
now.
Edge collection.
There's a whole Star Wars Galaxy's Edge collection. Now, some of these things I think were on here before. Some of the things are new too, but there's quite a lot of things that I thought were specific to maybe only being able to purchase at Doc Ondor's or wherever. But yeah, there's a decent collection out here.
Oh, there's the cookbook on here too.
The cookbook, quite a few lightsabers. The
Ahsoka Tano lightsabers
the most
on here.
Adorable plush. Oh, with sound tag.
Are you
going to
buy
sound.
$40? How big is it?
I don't know, but it makes sound. But yeah, the Legacy Darksabers out here, as well as Luke Skywalker's 40th anniversary.
I didn't know I could buy the Darksaber on
This might
Shop
be dangerous,
Disney.
Huh?
Maybe. I kind of wanted. It was tough. I kind of wanted the Cal Kestis lightsaber that came out because I'm playing Jedi Survivor right now, and I played Jedi Fallen Order before. That was the original one, and I've liked it. Although I didn't realize that this had this carrying case the way it does. That's really neat. Very
cool.
But I won't spoil it for anybody. But I feel like the Darksaber may not be as relevant anymore, and that's my sadness. So
It's still a cool saber, though,
Yeah,
and unique.
I will believe with that for sure. A beloved Disneyland icon is no more. Nutmeg, one of the most well-known cats featured in the Magic Key Terrace, passed away recently. Nutmeg was beloved by guests and cast members alike. If you want to reflect on the impact they made on the resort, the artwork and tiles around the Magic Key Terrace are a great reminder.
Yes. So
Did we meet this one?
We never had, I'm not sure. I don't think we ever got to meet Nutmeg, because Nutmeg hung out kind of near-ish where the Magic Key Terrace was or is. I don't know if we ever got to meet Nutmeg or not, but I just think the Disneyland cats are such a such a cool part of Disneyland. Something that not a lot of people know about, and really up until recently it was not. I hadn't seen one before. It took a long time for me to spot a Disneyland cat. And I don't know why, but it brought this extra level of joy to spot one of the Disneyland cats hanging out.
And I feel like we've seen more cats since you found the first one.
I know. Well, now we're on the lookout for them. But yeah, so we're very sad to report that Nutmeg, one of the most well-known of the Disneyland cats, has crossed the Rainbow Bridge, and she will be missed. But like Tig said, she does live on in the Magic Key Terrace. There's a photo, like a painting with her, and then there's also a mosaic, a tile mosaic of Nutmeg as well.
There is a website called DisneylandCats.com
They have their own fan page
that has cat profiles of the different cats and stuff. Oh my goodness.
I love it. I'm going to have to
I want to see if there's a cat profile of...
Oh my goodness. Look at some of these names. Oh, Francisco is the one that I think we saw. Is the one that we seem to catch the most. Yep. Francisco is the one that we catch over by Grizzly Peak.
Oh my goodness. Anyway.
They're so
we could go down this rabbit hole for days.
Yes.
But rest in peace, Nutmeg.
Well, if a stop at Maurice's Treats is on your list during a visit, there are some menu changes that you should be aware of. I'm curious when this happened, because I thought when we were just there, the menu was the same. So this is very recent that this happened. But the main thing, the cheddar garlic bagel twist, has moved. You can find it now at Edelweiss Snacks in Fantasyland, and the churro gears have disappeared. Some new sweet and savory menu items have taken their place for now over at Maurice's Treats.
Yeah, so the new treats are the ham and cheese croissant, a spinach and feta roll, a cream cheese and blueberry filled Danish, and a chocolate croissant. The beverages are still there. The Boys and Apple Freeze is still there. There's a nitro cold brew. There's coffee or hot cocoa and water, of course.
Yes.
So I don't know how to feel about this. I like this little location. I feel like we don't try stuff there as often. We kind of did the beginning. We had the trio of whatever that was. What was that?
Madeleine cookies.
Madeleines, yeah.
They were so yummy. It was like a princess trio of Madeleine cookies. Very,
and I don't think I've ever been over to Edelweiss Snacks.
The one time I went to Edelweiss Snacks was with my family. My cousin and his daughter stopped there to grab something. I couldn't even tell you what it was that they grabbed. But yeah, that was the one time I was there. But personally, I haven't stopped there myself. I think they kind of, I don't know. I don't remember them having something unique to them. I think mabe you could get turkey legs there. I'm not a big turkey leg person.
Bratwurst,
myself.
The cheddar bagel twist, Maui onion flavored potato chips. So they got potato chips
too, and
some sauces. And a frozen slush, apparently.
Maybe we'll have to check them out next time we're there.
Yeah.
Especially if we want our garlic cheddar bagel twist, which is very, very yummy. One of my favorite snacks, and I think also
you haven't got one in a while.
Not as well known snack. It's not a churro. People don't associate it, think, I'm in Disneyland, I need a churro.
But you haven't got one the last couple of trips.
I haven't, because even I forget about it.
We were even right there this last trip.
It is a tasty treat. Well, it also depends on, if I'm snacky when we're over in that area or not.
It is filling. All of those things are very filling.
It is.
Well, speaking of treats, some new treats have come to the resort to add to the mountain of already available treats. The Peach Cobbler Sundae is available at the Golden Horseshoe for $8.49. Over at Award Wieners, there's the Tropical Funnel Cake Fries for $9.49. Just down the road at Schmoozies is the Brave Little Mickey Shake for $12.99. Finally, there are 2 churros. One is the Spicy Chili Cheese Churro at Willie's Churros for $6.75, which producer Vern loved, and the Cosmic Disturbance Churro at Terran Treats for $6.75.
So I feel like we got to be at the parks at a very unique time. Somehow, the first part of our trip, there were certain treats there, and then the second half of our trip, they were replaced with new treats. So we got to be there for a change of the menus. One, for example, was the Brave Little Mickey Shake. Remember, we went and the day before, I don't remember what the shake was.
It was like an Oreo cookie shake.
Yeah, it was some
something.
sort of Oreo cookie shake thing. And then the next day, we went over to check it out, and it was the Brave Little Mickey Shake had taken its place.
Because we recorded episode stuff right around the corner. Yep.
And then same thing, there was what was it? There was a cold brew. There were 2 cold brews the first time we ate at PIM. Test kitchen. I got the Oreo cold brew. Oh, the butter pecan cold brew was still lingering. So when we went back, I was like, I need to get the butter pecan. Well, then the butter pecan one was gone. And it was only the Oreo one. So it was so interesting to be like around and in the parks during this transition time. The Peach Cobbler Sundae, Vern and I did go to the Golden Horseshoe Saloon to watch the piano player for a bit. We did not try. It was there, but we did not try it.
I might want to try it. I feel like I haven't had peaches in a really long time, so I don't even really remember if I am a big fan of the peaches or not.
So I did see a review on this, and they said that the peaches are served warm, so it's almost kind of like peach pie in a cup,
interesting,
with ice cream on top. So the ice cream gets a little melty since the peaches are warm.
Sure,
but they said it was really, really good.
I would try this.
That'd be something I'd try too. The Tropical Funnel Cake Fries. Looking at the photo, I don't know if this is something I'd necessarily gravitate towards, but it looks interesting.
It sounds good. Pineapple and cherry compote with whipped topping, toasted coconut shavings, and a cherry. I saw some funnel cake thing when we were... Oh, that was at Knott's Berry Farm. When we went to Knott's Berry Farm, there was a really good-looking funnel cake that I wish I would have had room for. The Brave Little Mickey Shake looks good. The Disney Food Blog said that it was not... They didn't particularly care for it. The chili cheese churro, do you want to talk about your opinion before you tried it?
So Vern on our last trip was on a churro mission. He was seeking out all of the specialty churros and trying to taste test as many as he possibly can. And we were in DC. I want to say it was our first day in DC. Yeah, it was. It was our first day in DCA. We're walking past Willie's churro cart. This is still the morning.
This was like his first thing he ate.
Yeah. And we're walking past, and he sees this photo of this spicy chili cheese churro.
That looks radioactive.
It has the most unnatural looking color scheme going on here. So it's a churro cut in half with nacho cheese drizzled on it, but the nacho cheese is semi-solid still. So it's it looks like a ribbon. It is not gooey looking. It is not melty looking. It kind of looks like Cheez Whiz out of a can. Yeah. And then it's got
crushed spicy cheese chips and a chili lime sugar.
Crushed spicy cheese chips with, I think, were the Flamin' Hot Cheetos crunched up on top. And then the churro, instead of it being cinnamon sugar, was a chili lime sugar.
So I took a bite, and all I got in my mouth from it was chili. It was lime. Yeah. And I don't need lime in my face. So Vern was like, you should try this other part. I'm not a spicy person. I was like, no. I had enough lime. I don't need any more lime. So that was my...
I was just beside myself with this thing and just not understanding his draw and his desire to purchase and try this. I did take a bite. I will say I was expecting the worst, and I didn't hate it. I would not eat the whole thing, nor would I purchase one. I wouldn't even share one with somebody, but it was not as terrible as I thought it was.
Vern, I think, contemplated getting a second one.
Really, really enjoyed it. In fact, he talked about this churro the rest of the trip. Yes. There was, in fact, one day when we were walking with our VIP tour guide. We might talk about this later in the discussion topic. It's been a couple weeks since we recorded that. So my apologies if you're hearing the same story twice, but we were walking by and he was telling our VIP tour guide about this churro, and we looked over and the little sign saying that it was available was gone. And so then the joke was, did it really exist?
Sure. Vern, why don't you come talk
Vern
about
just
this?
happened to walk in. He must have heard us. He just sensed us talking about this churro.
One of the new food items this week that we're talking about is one that you actually had a chance to taste. So,
oh yes, the spicy chili cheese churro. Personal opinion, it is God's gift to churros.
I think that might be a little far.
Oh no! Did you eat any? Did you have a bite?
I did. Remember you made?
Yeah. Well, then you know. Then you know.
You did.
No.
And then I was really sad because my water bottle wasn't full. And we were waiting in line for Soren, and I just had to have that taste in my mouth lingering.
What? But it was such a delightful taste, and it should have been lingering. No, this is so. Your typical churro is just sweet, which there's nothing wrong with that. Churros should be sweet. They're a dessert type thing, and but you get so used to every churro is sweet, and you just always sweetness, and many of them are like overly sweet, too much sweet going on. But this was such a delightful balance of the sweet and the savory and the spicy, and all of it working together, and the way that the lime just tied it all up. It was perfection.
So to conclude, would you get this churro again? And dare I say,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Where does it rank on your churro standings of churros you've tried of all time?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm putting it at the solid 10. It is the best churro I have had.
Wow.
And I am a churro aficionado, and I am putting it at the best. And perhaps, I mean, if they come out with another churro that is as unique and expressive, is that the word that I want?
There have been other unique churros, just not one that we have been in the parks to
Well, okay.
get to witness.
Of the churros Vern has had, this is his 10.
Of the ones that I have been present for, I am putting this one at the 10 because all the rest have just been, another dessert churro. Yay.
But they're delightful.
They are delightful, yes, and they're wonderful, and I enjoy them very much. I never turned down a churro, but this one has been the top of the top for its uniqueness and for being what it is.
Now, the Disney food blog has one sentence of this review of this item that I think would be like, if it wasn't for the spice and the lime that like I'm not just a fan of, I think this line sums it up. This is one of those so weird that it works snacks that we'll be talking about for days, and I think months even in this case.
They also said, honestly, this churro shocked us, but in a good way.
Yeah.
That was me though too, because I was expecting the worst before I took the bite.
We're judging Vern for even like attempting this churro.
I didn't even want to walk next to him when he was carrying this churro. That's how nope I was about this churro. And then to finish us off, there's the Cosmic Disturbance churro, which was not there when we were there. Otherwise, I'm sure Vern, in his quest of trying all the churros, would have made sure to add this to this list. This one sounds interesting to me because it has freeze-dried Skittles on top of it. I have never tried a freeze-dried Skittle, so I'm just super curious about that.
No, the only thing I bought from Terran Treats is I bought another one of those little orb things because I can't not get an orb thing.
And a blue curacao flavored drizzle on this, as well as popping candies, a.k.a.
They love popping candies.
Oh, they're so fun. They are so fun. Out of this world.
Psst. Avast there. It'd be too late to alter course, mateys. And there be trivia questions lurking in every cove, waiting to be answered. Listen close and keep your ruddy Disney knowledge handy. That be the best way to answer correctly. And mark well me words, mateys. Dead men tell no tales. You come seeking questions and long-lost Disney information, eh? Sure, you come to the proper place, but keep a weather eye open, mates, and hold on tight, with both hands, if you please. There be squalls ahead, and James and Vern waiting for them what don't answer correctly.
Hello and welcome to Trivia Land. I am glad to be back in this chair. and ready to go again.
Hopefully you'll be easier on us than Vern last week. Or the listeners, I guess I should say, from last week.
Yeah, those listeners were rough. 4 out of 4 incorrect answers for both of you.
Yeah.
That was tough. I thought maybe you'd be able to pull off that the different letters in the spelling one. That was the one that I thought maybe you'd have hope for. But
all I want to say to our listeners is to have some pity on us and please mail in trivia@dlweekly.net some middle of the road trivia.
I like to think that we have faith that you won't zero out again this week.
Well, we'll find out. Are these also listener submitted questions?
Our first one has some listener submitted help. The rest of them are from me. So
okay, so we can blame you. Got it.
Yep. So let's jump in. That first one is inspired by listener Donna S. Definitely help me out with this one. Let's talk about some bad placement. What was the first store on Main Street in Disneyland, located next to that infamous lingerie store that closed?
Was it the tobacco shop?
Yeah, I'm going to say tobacco shop as well.
All right. Second question. In the Fantasyland shop, the Fantasyland version of the Mad Hatter, which character magically appears and disappears in the mirror over the counter?
I know this
In the
one.
mirror?
Yep.
I spotted them last time I was there.
Them?
I'm not giving you any hints.
I remember you going out of your way to check this one out. So
This is the Mad Hatter store that's in Fantasyland?
Yep.
You know, I haven't been in there recently enough, so I have no idea. I'm stumped. That's my answer.
The Cheshire Cat.
Oh, I should have known.
If you're
Because
right.
it is Alice themed, and of course, Cheshire Cat disappears. I should have known.
It was really funny. So while I was waiting to Vern and I were waiting in there to purchase his R2-D2 ears that he wore for Star Wars night. The group ahead of us thought they were losing their minds because it slowly appears and slowly disappears, and they were like, is it like they were questioning their sanity because they weren't sure if they were really seeing it or not. It was really fun.
Magical Disney illusions, right?
Yes.
All right, let's move on. Our third question. Speaking of that shop, it's kind of confusing that the park has 2 the Mad Hatter shops.
Yes.
Did you know there used to be a third with a similar name as well?
What?
Can you tell me the name of the shop of similar name that was open from 1968 to 1987?
The only other Mad Hatter kind of thing that I knew about was, and it's not even the right thing, it was, and I think it might even still be there, is the only thing I can think of is the Hatmosphere, which is in Tomorrowland. But that's still there and not.
I'm trying to think what
early
that
80s.
other Fantasyland, there's like that kiosk in the Small World Mall area, kind of near the, just
Didn't we
past the
interview somebody who
Matterhorn.
worked there?
That shop. I don't remember what that shop's called, though.
Is it not just like the Fantasyland shop?
I'm not sure, but I could see that one being Mad Hatter themed as well. I mean, it's just such a perfect for all of these ears and Mickey hat shops. I mean,
The Mad Hatter. Yeah.
it makes perfect sense.
Can you imagine, though, like, if you don't know the names of the stores and there's a cast member who's like, yes, we have those in the Mad Hatter store. And then you're like, which one?
Yes, I think it's that location. I have no idea what the name
With a similar name, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
This isn't going well for me this week.
This is not. I'm stunned. Maybe this last question can do it for you. So while we were at Disneyana, we got to meet and listen to the second Disneyland ambassador. Who was the first Disneyland ambassador to the world?
I feel like a terrible person. I know.
Me
this.
too.
Were you at that panel?
Yes.
We saw
I
her at
also
D23.
would know.
But now I have Connie's name stuck in my head.
Yep.
Is the problem.
The thing is I would, like, if I saw it in a list of names, I could point it out.
And if I saw her.
I could see her in my mind. You can't see her in your mind.
But I'm thinking, like, if I saw a picture of her, then you know what I mean? No, you can't. There's no way to Google it without Googling the name.
Well,
too.
yeah.
We'll put that to the test later in the answers. I'll put the picture in our little Discord
Yep,
chat.
I'm just stuck on Connie's name now because you shouldn't have started with Connie.
That's the joy,
It's
right?
I feel like it's in my head because Walt was with her on the 10th anniversary special, and he said her name like a jillion times because he introduced her to every person that he came in contact with on that show. This is
It's terrible. Our brains work. You can hear the whole thing, and then there's just like blank noise over her name.
yep. Do you have a hint, James?
No.
Of course not.
An initial.
Is it like
I guess we could do initials.
Swenson? Not Swenson. Initials? If you give us initials, we'll get it.
So let's save that for the answer portion. I'll let you give it a fair shot with both initials and a picture.
Okay.
And we'll see how that goes. But you can't get that opportunity until after our discussion topic this week.
Well, this week for our discussion topic, we were able to record some more in the park, and we wanted to talk about our VIP tour, our Club 33 experience, nighttime spectaculars, our thoughts about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in Toontown. So enjoy.
Well, hello, Weekly Cheers. We are recording in Toontown, the nice, fun, bright, vibrant Toontown.
You'll hear all types of stuff in the background.
It is, yes. It's quite loud where we're sitting, so we're hoping these fancy new mics pick up our voice as well, but also get a little bit of that ambiance noise for you, too.
We're sitting on the lovely grass area on, It's Saturday morning. We got reservations.
We did.
Just to come in and record.
We did. That's how much we love all of you, because we know how much you enjoy hearing us record from the park and getting a little bit of park noise in the background. I think it's fun.
I'm digging this soundtrack right now.
Well, this is the first time we've ever recorded in Toontown. We're trying to pick different areas, since with these, again, I know I've been talking about these new mics a lot, but with these new mics, it's much easier for us to record places. It's much less of a setup, and we don't need to, anyways. So we could almost, walk and talk if we wanted to, but...
What song is this? I, know it, but can't place it.
I don't know, but it's fun.
We're also near the fire department and the fireworks store, so you might hear some explosions and stuff in the background.
Yeah, so don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. But we wanted to talk to you. We got the amazing opportunity on Wednesday to go on a VIP tour. Something that I know was on my Disney bucket list, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Was on yours.
It's on everybody's Disney bucket list.
And it was amazing. We kind of went into it not fully knowing what to expect, but trying to have our minds open. We did make a list.
Well,
we decided we're going to reach for the stars. We're going to make a list of what would the most ever perfect Disney day be. So we asked for ridiculous things.
Let's preface this. Yes, we
asked for ridiculous things. We wanted to go play basketball in the Matterhorn basketball court. As you can imagine, that didn't fly.
That was Vern's choice.
But there were other things too that we thought were attainable. We'll get to that later. But we wanted to give a shout out to Lori, who is our amazing tour guide for the day. We got to spend 8 wonderful hours with her, getting to know her, and also having the most, I'm going to say, stress-free park day, because we got to just turn our brains off and enjoy the park.
Yeah, we just hitched our wagon to Lori, and we just went from thing to thing to thing, and she was so magical, because anytime we needed to do something, she was, as we were walking between things, she'd pull out her phone and was kind of just, it was her magic wand, if you will.
It really was. And it was, because that's also, she had that and her little VIP card that was a fast pass to everything. That was pretty surprising to me. I mean, I guess, right? Think of what a tour costs, but it was nice because we got to do things like walk right on to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, even though it was an hour and a half wait for everybody else. And we got to walk right on, just poof, there we were.
Rise of the Resistance, which was a 2-hour plus wait.
Rise of the Resistance was 2 hours when we got to just walk onto that basically. But let's start with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, because brand new attraction, fun, in the brand new Toontown that we're sitting in right now. So I think that sounds like a good place to start.
Yeah, it was, we obviously had experienced this out in Florida.
Yes.
And a little different. The queue here is so much better.
Oh, the queue. So with Lori, we did get to go through the lightning lane. I keep saying fast pass. The lightning lane version. But on Monday, there was actually a decent wait time. So we went through, almost was not long enough of a wait time because we went through the queue too fast. So we have gotten to experience Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway now 3 times on this trip. First time, we got through the queue a little bit too fast, so we didn't get to stop and enjoy all the details. Second time was with Lori, so we got to experience the queue in a different way. And then the third time, we had a full hour wait, so we had plenty of time to enjoy all the queue details.
And the pro tip for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is if you come into Toontown and the line is not outside the front of the building, just hop in the line because it's not a bad wait.
No.
And there's plenty of things to look at.
Yep.
There's a lot of interactive, like there's things that happen. There's a lot of things to read.
There are things, things come to life as you're standing
Lots
there.
of fun plays on different things.
I hope that queue never changes. Like, I want it to, like, if something breaks, I want them to fix it right away because some of the fun effects that they have, they're just so good. So good.
Even some photo ops. There's like Steamboat Willie's
the
helm wheel and all that stuff. So yeah, it's good. Now, when we saw it in Florida, it was COVID times, and there's a pre-show that we were not able to see, but we were able to see it this time, and it was everything I'd hoped it would be. I won't give away any spoilers, but there's a cool effect in the pre-show.
Yes, the pre-show is very fun.
That basically allows you to enter the Toon World of the park. So what did you think of the effect? We won't talk about what it is.
I liked it.
Yeah, me too.
I liked it. I wish I wouldn't known it was coming.
Because it would have been more of a surprise.
Yeah. Well, the first time we watched it, we were in the front row, so it's not as, you can see the magic start to happen. So my advice is if it's your first time, try, when you're in the little theater room about to watch the premiere of Perfect Picnic, try not to be in the front row. Try to be a little bit further back and try to be in the middle. That would be my advice the first time you ever experience it. The cool thing was being in that room and hearing people experience it for the first time. Because they were just like mind blown. And it's a super, super cool effect, fun thing that happens. The rest of the attraction itself, though, very similar to what it is at Walt Disney World. Some things were a little different, like the final scenes on your right-hand side at one park is on your left-hand side. Nothing major, but the setup was just a little different.
It was a little jerkier than I remember, too.
Yeah, the rooms different, the rooms are different sizes, but still overall same storyline, all that fun stuff. The cool thing that I really like about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and that Lori was pointing out to us, was she was helping us spot a lot of the different hidden things, like all the little Easter eggs and stuff in there. So, do you want to talk about how she was entertainment and told us about the two stages?
Yeah, so Lori was saying that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was kind of bittersweet for her because to be able to build it, they had to take out some backstage buildings. And she used to be in entertainment years ago, and she was very sad because their rehearsal space and stuff was back there. That is now Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
It was two buildings. It was the rehearsal space, but it was also like the parade float storage space too.
Yeah. So she was. She said there was. What was the other thing? There was some other thing in the park that she was like, they took out something for. There was another thing that was like that, and I was like, man, apparently every time Disney adds something, they take something away from you, Lori.
Yeah, it was funny. But she told us that, and I hadn't heard about this nod, but in one of the rooms, and we found it in I'm going to call it the sewer drain room, is a little, it's a nod to those two buildings. They were called like I'm going to forget what they were, N18 and 19, I want to say is what the building names were. So there is a sign in one of the rooms, kind of as a dedication to the two buildings that this attraction replaced. But there's all sorts of fun nods to the different Imagineers that worked on this. There's a 1401 flower shop, all sorts of cool stuff.
Which is the address for Imagineering, for those of you who don't know.
Yes, so lots of cool, fun details to keep your eyes open for.
Yeah, and then something that we don't usually talk about, but the gift shop at the end is also fun and cool.
It's cool. I like it a lot.
Lots of train theming.
We did get power limes. What was your thought about the power lime candy?
It was okay.
You're not a citrusy person,
So those type of candies, those like taffy almost like, the only ones that I like was the white Airheads. Was my favorite.
Sure.
But this was a lime flavor, and I like lime like in a drink, but I don't know if I like lime by itself.
Well, the power limes were interesting because it was kind of a mix between the texture of taffy and an Airhead. Yeah. Somewhere in between those two things. So, but it was like skinny flat thing like how an Airhead was, but it packed a lot of flavor in every bite though. So I enjoyed it, and really the price on them wasn't that bad. I was thinking that they were going to be overcharging on them just because they could, but they didn't. I think I got two of them for around $5.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Which I was kind of like, are you sure you rung two up and not just one? Because I was kind of assuming they'd charge, exuberant amounts.
Since you're on the treat thing and we're talking about Toontown, I just want to quickly talk about, we got a flop over, and man, that was good. And it was greasy as all heck.
I'm currently sipping on the cold brew from back here, too.
Which is the second time you've had it.
This is the second time I've had it this trip, yes.
I tried the watermelon slushy, which was good, but the flop over...
The flop over was good.
It had so much cheese in it.
Tons of cheese. And I'm not a huge sauce person on pizza. And they had, just a hint of sauce with it. So I liked it. I really did.
I would say, though, we grabbed it and we were walking through the park with it, and it was a little greasy, so it was hard to, walk and eat. If it was a little less greasy, it would have been a perfect walk and eat situation. But we also had the mini donuts this morning, which I was expecting to be warm, and they weren't.
Yeah, I was a little let down by the mini donuts, too. I was expecting, churro, that's what I had in my head, was it was going to be like a churro donut, because they're cinnamon sugar mini donuts. But, yeah, they were served cold and the outside wasn't. I was assuming the outside was going to be crispy for some reason.
Sure.
But it wasn't. I don't know where I got it. I just made this up in my head, and it was wrong. Back to the tour, though. So, sorry we got distracted by Toontown and all of its awesomeness.
Well, we had to talk about all of it.
I know we did. But the thing, too, we already talked about this last week, but Toontown looks amazing.
It does.
I want to hang out back here. Amazing. This is, I think, every day we've been in Disneyland, we've come back to Toontown. When did you ever think you were going to say that?
Well, between that and when did I ever think I'd say, man, Toontown is packed?
Yeah. It's enjoyable right now.
Yeah, it is beautiful right now. The weather is really nice. It's as we record this, it's 60. My watch says it's 61 degrees, and partly cloudy, so it's beautiful back here.
It is very nice.
Back to the tour.
So back to the tour. We'll start at the beginning because we started in the middle. But so back to the tour. So our day began. We met Lori over at the Tour Gardens. That was the first time we had met her. So this tour was set up for us by a couple of very kind fairy godparents.
Yes.
And
thank you so
much.
We're
just seriously so blown away.
Wednesday was our day. They created our Wednesday.
Oh my gosh. The most ever magic like that. Yeah. We'll get into it. But I seriously, I keep telling everybody, I think I'm still in shock that it happened because I never thought it was going to happen. And then it happened, poof, there, we were doing it. So we met Lori at the tour garden. She got, kind of asked us what we were looking for in the tour. We kind of got to know her a little bit better. So we told her that we were very interested we wanted to try and do Disney in the most unique way we could do Disney. So
and stuff you couldn't normally do.
Yeah, so if we could do cool things that you can't normally, that
what was your number one thing?
I really wanted to, my number one was I wanted to ride the Lily Bell.
Which she would have been able to get to us, but because it was potentially going to rain, they took her off the track.
Yeah, so that didn't happen, but that's okay. We were joking. We'll get into it, but we were joking. The Disney winds they knew that we were already having the most magical day ever, so they didn't want to overwhelm us too much, so they had to hold back a little bit. So, which was totally
I also
fine.
think it's important to say that as we go through our extensive list of stuff that we were pie in the skying, that Lori was trying her darndest to make many things happen for us as possible, and just circumstances got to her. She was like, oh, I'd really like to show you the Disney 100 thing in the gallery. And we went over and there was a maintenance issue, so it was closed.
She was so funny, though. She just looked at us and she's like, is someone punking me? What is going on here? So, but she was great. The thing that was so cool was her and her story. Yes, of course, all the amazingness with her planning our day and us just following the leader all day. But she has worked for Disney for 20 years, and her primary thing was entertainment. And up until more recently, that's what she did. She was in all sorts of different parades, some of our favorites, some of your favorites, and she was kind of telling us about that side a lot. And so we got to learn a lot about things that I had never known about before. So that was really cool. But yeah, so she did know that we were interested in history and stuff, so we did a kind of a leisurely stroll down Main Street. We were talking about all the different windows. We went over, she showed us where the 3 new Make-A-Wish windows that were just installed within a little, I think it was a couple days before we got here. So we went and looked at those. Trying to remember. Then we kind of made our way over.
Well, the ones that stand out, we did Rise, we did Smuggler's Run, we did Hyperspace Mountain, we did Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
We did Haunted, we did Pirates, we did Indiana Jones.
Yep.
we went over to DCA. We did Soarin' because that was Lori's favorite, so we wanted to make sure we did that with Lori.
We did Incredicoaster. We did
Midway Mania. And the other thing too to kind of keep in mind is we did all of this when it was a busy day.
It was very busy.
It was a very busy day. So there was
It was probably the busiest day we were here.
Yeah, there was unless we would have bought Genie Plus, timed it exactly right, and bought the individual lightning lanes, absolutely no way we could have done this ourselves. So not only did we do all that, but then kind of in between each thing, we'd stop and do something that was kind of more history or more like informative. So one thing that was super cool, I was sitting next to Lori while we were on Pirates of the Caribbean, and we were talking about Red, the animatronic, and she told me that it was a girl that she worked with, kept kind of having these secret meetings with Imagineering. Well, come to find out, I think they modeled Red's smirk off of this person that worked in entertainment. And so Lori and I were kind of joking, like, well, how do we get to be animatronics? Like, how cool is that this person
is immortalized inside Pirates of the Caribbean?
So, like, would I have ever learned that before going on this going on this tour with Lori? No, I would have never learned that. I thought that was so cool, though.
Yeah. So she let us try. One of the things that was interesting is she kind of went. So Teresa and I are very like sprinty kind of around the park. We move very fast. Lori was moving at a good pace, but not like super fast. And it was so weird because when it's just us and we want to go to different attractions and stuff, like we talk about it and then we kind of make like a deliberate whatever. She didn't tell us anything. No, she's just like she just starts talking and we just follow her blindly. And then she's like, we're going here.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh.
And the thing that was amazing is I kind of started watching her and realized, like, she had to start making reservations for us first. So, like, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, she basically had to book what the equivalent of a lightning lane. Basically, she had to, like, book time slots. So she was really good about then, like, filling our time right. So we never had to stand and wait for any. So there were reserved time slots for things, but if I wasn't paying attention to what she was doing, I would have never known that because it was just seamless. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, to remember with this. If you want, like, the perfect Disney day where you don't have to think, tour. 100% tour. She was also our personal photographer. She took our photos different places. We made sure to get a couple photos with her because we really enjoyed our time with her.
Oh, yeah. So one of the areas where it seemed like Lori really shined for us was we were over in DCA. And one of the things on our list was we wanted to learn a little bit more about the stuff that was in the Carthay Circle restaurant because there's lots of photos and history and stuff in there. So we went over there and we were able to get inside. The other thing that was a little weird was people were trying to like eat and we were like looking at stuff behind them. But anyway, she was very knowledgeable talking about the premiere of Snow White, and we didn't get to go into it, but she talked a little bit about Club 1901 that's over there, which is the DCA equivalent of Club 33. And she explained that over there, some of the history and photos that were on the wall were of like Walt's personal life. So like his kids and his wife and like...
So new bucket list item, basically.
Yeah, right.
We checked one off while adding a new one.
Yeah, so we got to check out all that. They had some props in there. They had those, I think it was the Zorro mask and the Zorro hat, which was pretty cool.
It was it was on loan from the Walt Disney Archives.
Yeah. One of the things that was really refreshing from a cast member standpoint that I think Teresa and I really enjoyed learning was I think, had been under the impression that tour guides kind of had to sneak in breaks and food and stuff, like, away from the guests. And since we were kind of together most of the day, we decided to get a corn dog, and she was able to eat with us. So we sat down at the Plaza Inn and ate our corn dogs from the corn dog wagon, and she was able to get one, and we kind of just hung out. She became like part of our group for the day.
100%. And I'm sure that depends on what you're looking for out of your tour. So if you're interested in doing a tour, you can, and we asked her because we're like, you know, are you a ride person? Do you want to ride things? You know, when we go on different attractions, do you want to ride with us? You know, do you want to ride with us?
And she did most of the time, yep.
Do you want to do you want to do something else or whatever? So we kind of got to know each other, and I think because we all just kind of became like a big friend group, and she was just like the leader, basically. It was great. But, you know, maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you just want to do things privately. The tour guide doesn't have to be right there with you the entire time either.
Case in point, so yesterday, James and I went to Rancho because he wanted to get one of the food things there, and we ran into another VIP tour guide.
Yep.
And I jokingly said to him, I said, "Where's your family?" And he said, "Oh, they're eating at Blue Bayou. So I came over here to get a burrito, and I'll meet back up with them." And what's funny is I ended up seeing him like 3 more times later today with the family. So it's kind of whatever you make it. A VIP tour is definitely for you, like whatever you want it to be, and whatever your interests are. The tour guide will cater to that as best as possible.
Try and accommodate as best as they can. So like with Lori, in our experience, we just we may have like jumped on her like, this is what we're interested, because we were so excited. Typically, you probably like have a little, I don't know, but we kind of jumped on her because we were so excited. But after we kind of like got our excitement out, she kind of like giggled at us like, okay, you're going to be like this is the kind of group you're going to be. The rest of the time though, I think she like did a really great job of just kind of like feeling us out to see like what we kind of were looking for, and if but also, do we want her, she probably had a good sense, a good people skills to like tell like, they'd be fine with me eating with them, or they'd be whatever, so it was fun.
We told her the whole time. In fact, one of the times was funny because I don't remember where we were or what was happening, but she asked if we were getting on Incredicoaster, and she's like, "I can take your bag," and I'm like, "No, it's fine, I'll take it." And she's like, "It's not a problem." I said, "You're a human too. Like, you're not you're not my mule. Like, I don't need you to take all my stuff." So like, they can do that for you.
Yeah, that's what they're there for.
Yeah,
they can
but
sit there and hold the stuff for you too.
I wanted to treat her like she was part of the group, but I wouldn't just be like, "Yes, Teresa, here, take all my stuff." But also, we had a unique situation, which I kind of want to make clear, which is normally, any of you guys listening, if you ever book a VIP tour, there is a process that you go through. You call, you over the phone beforehand give a lot of stuff that you're interested in, and that tour guide and Disney create an experience for you. So when you show up, they kind of already know what you want to do. Our situation was our fairy godparents, gifted this to us, and so we and it was such a quick turnaround that there wasn't really a time to coordinate with like what we kind of wanted out of it. So the first time that Lori knew anything of what we wanted was right at the beginning. So a lot of it was, to her credit, thinking on the spot of
100%.
And when things happen like the Disney 100, and like pivoting quickly and not wasting our time. I feel like our time was used really well.
Yeah, I think so too.
She was just dang fun to hang out with.
She was. So a couple of the other things, and I just want to give her, I don't know, like a hug, because I hope she doesn't think that we were disappointed, because we saw how much she was trying to make some of these extra requests work for us. So a couple examples was, we were in Galaxy's Edge and we're like, "Oh, have you heard of Chewy Mode? We've never been able to unlock that. Do you know how to unlock that?" And she said, "I don't, but we can figure this out." So we go in and we're talking she goes off to the side and is talking to the cast member about it. And she's like, "So you need 5 people," or 5 people. "We have 5 people. You need 6 for it." She said, "But let me see what else I can do." Well, then she talked to the cast member, a different cast member. Anyways, she tried super hard. Nobody, like the cast members that just happened to be there at the time, weren't quite sure either how to unlock it, so that didn't happen. She tried to make magic for us because we said we'd love to meet Mando and Grogu, so she was able to use her Spidey sense, her VIP sense, to say, "I think we should probably be in this area at about this time." Well, then, for whatever reason, probably because the schedule changed at the last minute. So all sorts of stuff. So she's kind of kept looking at us like, "What is going on?" But she tried really hard. None of us were like upset. Would it have been like awesome? Sure, of course, but none of us were upset because we could see how hard she was trying to do these things. But one thing that she was able to do that was definitely extra magic was we got to go and we didn't get to like enjoy because we weren't members, but we got to go and tour the new DVC lounge here in Tomorrowland.
Oh yeah, the Starview Lounge, which was really cool. We went up, and I'll tell you, this is one of the best like relaxation spaces. First of all, I'm weird. I thought the carpeting was really amazing.
Yeah,
they have some great stuff from the archives in there. The spacesuits. And
it was we learned this. Lori was telling us about this. I didn't know this. So there's the Walt Disney Archives, but then there's also the Imagineering Archives. And so there's a couple of pieces. Yep, and they're different. There's a couple of pieces on loan from the Imagineering Archives.
Yeah, not the normal not the Becky Klein archives, but the Walt Disney Imagineering archives, which are different. Which actually, we've seen a couple of those things in the park, because in the Disney 100 gallery, they had found the hag, which had been a couple different places in the park, and actually they had kind of lost track of for a while, and then they found her and refurbished her, and she's in that exhibition. But anyway, the lounge is awesome. If you're a DVC member, you get unlimited free Coke freestyle.
Yeah, they also had coffee too, like a coffee machine.
I saw a lot of people have gotten food from like Galactic Grill or Pizza Planet and then come in to eat there because it was air conditioned and in the shade. It was pretty quiet in there, which was nice. So it's kind of like a nice respite from the craziness of Disneyland.
Yep.
It was a good space. There seemed to be plenty of room for everybody, even though it was fairly busy in there. Yeah. So I thought it was really cool, a good use of that space. Before we parted from Lori, she was able to reserve the VIP viewing spots for us and put us on that list.
Yep,
so
she was.
We had VIP viewing. We'll get into it, but she booked us VIP viewing for Magic Happens, for World of Color 1, and for the fireworks.
Yes.
Which was funny because she was like, are you guys going to be able to make it from one to the other? Because it was only about from one show ending to the other show beginning was a half an hour, and they're in both different parks for Wondrous Journeys and World of Color 1. But, spoiler alert, we totally made it. We totally made it. Plenty of room.
But on top of that, because she knew that we were trying to do both, she did call ahead or text ahead or whatever. She did let the guest services or the other plaids that were going to be at the Wondrous viewing area, she did let them know that we were coming and that we were planning to do both. So to make sure to hold space for us.
And it did get communicated because the guy told us, you guys are the ones from the other one.
Yep. So they were going to make sure that they held space for us because they knew we were coming. Because we didn't quite learn what this meant, but they said something about backfilling. Like, once it gets closer to showtime that they'll backfill. Again, we don't know we didn't get what that definition was. My guess is maybe, like, if Club 33 members come in.
Maybe.
Because they don't backfill with just regular park guests. Because, and as you've all seen, these VIP areas, sometimes there's lots of people sitting in them. Other times there's hardly anybody sitting in them. So my guess is backfilling for last minute, like if there's a Club 33 member last minute that wants to also reserve space. But anyways, speaking of Club 33.
Yeah, so our fairy godparents were also able to... So after the tour, they wanted us to meet them at the Club 33 lounge.
I'm already getting like goosebumps just thinking about it.
So we went over, and Teresa and I both rang the doorbell for Club 33.
We decided, I looked at Tank and said, we can't make this decision. We both have to ring the bell because... that in and of itself is a magic moment for me.
Now,
we'll have to share that video.
This is the dumbest thing. People are going to think I'm totally nuts. But the first part of the magic that you get is, so they open the Club 33 door, and we walked in. There's this little vestibule area that has like a little check-in desk, and there's like a little cabinet with like the merch you can buy.
Which I was in total shock. I didn't even notice the merch cabinet until we were leaving.
Yeah. and then on the other side of this room, there's another door that goes into the Court of Angels where you head up to the restaurant and the lounge. And we walked in this little vestibule, and the cast member closed the door behind us, and it was really busy in New Orleans Square, so it was very loud. The second the door closed, it was silence. It was like the best soundproofing ever.
And it was funny because I think all four of us, as soon as the door closed, we both looked behind us like, what just happened? And we even mentioned to the cast members that were there at the desk, we're like, holy cow, it gets really, we weren't expecting it to dampen the sound that much. And they're like, I know, isn't that great? It was seriously bad.
Well, what's crazy is even when we went into the Court of Angels, which is still kind of it's not sealed from the outside, it was also very, very quiet.
Yeah.
So we headed up, we went into the Club 33 lounge. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, we weren't really that aware, of the layout of Club 33, when you go up the stairs in the Court of Angels and you go in the front door, you kind of enter a small little lobby where you can buy merch. They have another cabinet of merchandise.
So you do exit through the gift shop, even at Club 33.
So off to the right is a hallway that leads to the main dining room, which is over by Pirates of the Caribbean and kind of the Royal Street veranda up those balconies. There is a path off to the left that goes towards the lounge. Yes. There's a hallway, and then that lounge is actually where right now it's behind the scrims because it's going to be Tiana's palace. It's the facade of that. Behind that is where the lounge was, which is where we met up and had a wonderful... We were not expecting to eat there. We thought we were just going to have a couple drinks.
Again, I just made this up, but I thought I thought the lounge was just like kind of like a bar area, kind of a relaxing bar area, but no.
So they give you they had a menu with like kind of like some a la carte stuff, and then they had the full dining room menu that you could eat in the lounge if you wanted to. So Teresa and Vern ordered off of the smaller menu. James and I ordered off I was like, you know what? Who knows if we're ever going to be back here? I'm ordering off the big menu. So I ordered a pancetta appetizer, which was amazing. Of course, everything. Let's just say right off the bat, everything was amazing.
Everything was amazing.
And I had the filet, which was amazing, and the Justin, our attendant, if you will, at Club 33, our Club 33 cast member. He recommended, what was the drink we had? It was some fruit drink. It was so good.
Hang on. Why did we not take a picture of that? Tropical Storm?
Tropical Storm. Yeah, because James got a hurricane and they made a play on the words. It was amazing.
It was
this
very
drink.
good.
How was what did you order?
So it was the special sandwich of the day. It was a breaded butterflied chicken breast fried to perfection on a brioche bun with thick cut applewood smoked bacon, but the highlight, there was a jalapeno aioli that came on it too. It was so good. And the sandwich was, I should have split it with Vern. It was very, very large, very filling, very delicious. And instead of like a side of fries or, kind of what you'd think with a sandwich, chips, something like that, it was fried green tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
That were amazing too. But that jalapeno aioli was
And then for
amazing.
Dessert, I got the
you and I both got the
creme
banana
brulee.
bread. Yep, it was a banana bread creme brulee.
It was very good.
It was the perfect size. It was probably like 4 or 5 bites. So like the perfect little end to the meal. It wasn't too big that you were feeling like, oh gosh, that was too much. But the food was amazing, yes, but I was more blown away by just the ambiance and the detail of the lounge.
By the way, I just want to get this out of the way when you're talking about the detail. You forget you're in Disneyland when you were in Club 33. It felt like we were transported to a completely different place. It had all the Disney magic touches, but you couldn't hear anything out in the park because they were doing the work on Tiana's. All the windows were covered up because they're painting and stuff outside. But later on, we went to the balcony and Teresa was like, I forgot we were in the park.
Yep. So the details, though, in the lounge. So Justin was very nice and gave us kind of like a little history
lesson,
if you will, and kind of pointed some of the details out. So he's been working for Club 33, I want to say it was like 10, 11, 12 years, something like that.
I think he was 12 years.
So he was kind of pointing out, so Kim Irvine was one of the head Imagineer to kind of design it, but there was such cool details. We were sitting and looking at the bar. Well, parts of the bar would come to life. Like kind of in the center of the bar, on the top row, there was all these what looked like little, I don't know, potion bottles, I guess. And every once in a while, they kind of come to life and start smoking and bubbling and all this stuff. If the song had a trumpet or a clarinet player, there were 2 instruments. There was a trumpet, a clarinet. I think it was a trumpet and a clarinet. For sure, a trumpet. And I think it was a clarinet on the other side. That all of a sudden, these ghosts would come out and play.
It was very much like the Haunted Mansion where, like, the shooting guys show up and stuff. But they're playing the instrument.
But the thing that was cool was it was timed exactly to the music going on around us. So it wasn't just like it was randomly happening. Oh no, it was perfectly synced. Lighting feature was this huge, beautiful stained glass piece that was on the ceiling that it took like, I don't know, a quarter of the ceiling. I mean, this thing was massive. The chairs were like big, comfy plush. It was such a fun, such a relaxing. I didn't know what to expect from Club 33, but my mind was totally blown. And then we were very lucky because it was not that busy of a night at Club 33 that they also let us just kind of go walk through the dining room to then stand out on the balcony and just kind of take a peek at the dining room and then take a look from the balcony over
this was
there.
our
very
I'm not
cool.
trying to be sassy here, but this was our look down on the peons, the little people.
It was really interesting to be at that vantage, like to be up there. So where we were standing, we were I was sad because it'd be the most perfect view of Fantasmic ever. So we could say we were looking out over the Rivers of America. Pirates of the Caribbean was just to the right of us. Pieces of 8, that shop was down to the right of us. So it's kind of on that corner as you walk into New Orleans Square. But it was just so cool. And even up there, it felt like it. I don't know how this works, sound, but like it was busy,
pretty quiet.
But it wasn't it wasn't noisy up there.
Yeah.
Like I think the sound just somehow was just staying on the first level and we were on the second level. But it was
what else
a very,
was weird?
very cool vantage point of the park.
I don't know why people just must get their Disney goggles on or something, but I felt like nobody even saw us up there.
Well, how often are you looking up there? You know what I mean?
I look up there all the time because I'm always trying to see it at Club 33.
But you know what I mean? Like, usually you're like...
That's true.
It kind of, if you don't know that it's there, it just kind of blends in.
It's true. But it was an amazing night, and to our fairy godparents, thank you so much for such an amazing experience.
Our hearts are so full, and like, even talking about it now, I still get goosebumps.
Yeah.
I'm just completely in awe.
Now, because we stayed there at 8, because we were expecting to eat outside of Club 33, we did buy some merch, by the way.
We did.
Which, Teresa, do you want to talk about your excitement with the pricing of the...
I was very surprised. For some reason, I thought everything, like Club 33, I was thinking that pricing on things was going to be... I wasn't sure what to expect. But we just kind of thought, we're going to buy a couple of things and it's going to be very expensive, but we don't care because this is an experience and, whatever. But I was very impressed with the pricing on stuff. It was very similar to park pricing on some things. Some things, yes, were a bit more.
Teresa could not get over the fact that there was a set of Mickey ears with Club 33 that was $30.
I couldn't, yeah. They're beautiful. Yes, I own them now. They did not have a headband when we were there this time, so unfortunately I didn't get a headband, but I did get a jacket.
Let's not talk about the jacket.
Nice Club 33 jacket.
They only had medium and small for the men, so I did not get one. So because we ate dinner and stuff there, we did miss our VIP reservation for the parade, which was fine. So afterwards we left and we went over and we saw World of Color 1 over in DCA, which... I have to talk about this because I have never been a World of Color any version person, but I want to say that the World of Color 1 was great.
It's good.
Even without the fire effects.
I know people were kind of saying, and I didn't quite catch it until the end, but the thing about original World of Color was it kind of felt like a hodgepodge of different movies that they just kind of like stitch scenes together and they were just kind of riding on
clip show.
Yeah, kind of riding on the emotions of the movie scenes and not like an actual show. This, yes, it did that, but it was talking about the power of one. So they were very intentional on the characters that they picked. And they kind of they told their individual stories, but then they brought it full circle that you then kind of realize like, oh, you were pointing out that, because of this character, like how instrumental this specific character was in their story, much like how the beginning was, it started with Walt and how the power of one, Walt Disney. Where would we be today if Walt Disney didn't exist or if he didn't do what he did for us and for everyone,
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that I loved most about this show is I always felt that they underutilized the lighting package that was on the Incredicoaster. By the way,
they upgraded it.
This is
Same
also
thing with the Pixar Pal-Around.
The very first time that all of the lighting was working 100% on the Pal-Around. Because usually before the show we're looking and there's usually spots that are out, but
like
it was great.
I think they redid all of that.
It was great.
The colors and the effects that were going on the Incredicoaster, same thing with the Pal-Around. The Pal-Around was doing all sorts of crazy things I've never seen it do before.
Yep. They utilized everything to its fullest potential, and I thought it was wonderful. The music was great. The show, just of all the World of Color shows, it's the only one that I've been excited to see more than once. So I highly recommend seeing it if you can.
The cool thing about this is it reminded me more of like a fireworks show with projections.
Yeah.
We watched it twice. The first time we watched it was standby. The second time we watched it from the VIP viewing area.
By the way, that was the best area.
It was very nice. And I noticed different things both times we watched it because there's just so much going on that you can't see all of it going on. So like I said, the lighting, like all of a sudden I'd be watching like whatever was happening in the lagoon and then I'd catch something on the Pal-Around, so I'd have to like quick turn and see what's going on over there. But Very cool. Very, 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 very cool.
So then we booked it from there to Wondrous Journeys, and it was a projection night, so it wasn't fireworks. And that also was a very good show. Now, one thing that we learned late, I guess, is there are a couple characters that come out along the Tinkerbell Sky path. They do not come out on projection nights.
Which for some reason I thought they would.
I thought they would too.
We'll just talk about all of our experiences with Wondrous Journey. We got to view it 3 times. Time number 1 was from Small World.
Yep.
Time number 2 was the VIP viewing area, which
right in front of the castle.
Goodness, you couldn't ask for a better spot. You're sitting on benches and you're dead center to the castle. Like, you're
right in front of this partner statue.
Amazing. I mean, that's the best, hands down the best spot to watch.
Yep.
Plus, we got to show up, quote unquote, late. It's not like we had to camp out to get this primo viewing spot for hours. And each time I've watched it, I've liked it better, but the highlight for me was last night when we got to see it with the fireworks.
Yes.
The projections are gorgeous, but those fireworks, I was getting, even though I'd already seen it twice recently, when we watched it with the fireworks, chills.
Yeah.
The fireworks just took it to that next level. I screamed like a little girl when one of the characters came out on the line because they are so, so cool.
They are cool.
I was keeping myself spoiler free, so I didn't know what to expect going into this show. I knew that one of the characters was going to be present because that had been leaked, but I did not know what they were going to do while they were flying around in the air. So cool. We're trying to keep it spoiler free.
Yeah.
But amazing. There is one part that each time it gets better is they layer 4 different hero songs on top of each other about in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So this is big for me. So I love fireworks shows. Of course, the 50th anniversary Remember Dreams Come True is still my number 1, but this is a strong number 2.
So I never got to see that one. This is probably my number 1.
Yeah, it's a great show.
The only critique I have, which Tay and I were talking about this as we were walking up, is there is one scene from Moana that is in both shows. It's in Wondrous Journeys, and it's also in World of Color 1. So I'm a little disappointed that they took that exact scene and incorporated that one Moana. There's a ton of amazing songs in Moana and scenes in Moana, so nothing against Moana. I'm just really sad that they use the exact same portion and the exact same scene and song for both shows. I wish there would have been a little bit more variation between the two, but other than that, no complaints.
One more thing we have to talk about for this, and then we should wrap up, is Magic Happens.
Oh!
Now, Teresa, where did we sit for Magic Happens?
Well,
this wasn't the VIP seating, by the way.
This was Teresa needed to camp out to see the show because this is it's my new, we were joking, this is my new Main Street Electrical Parade show for the time being until it changes then something else. But we had heard, I had seen actually, it was from the Disneyland nurse, was taking these awesome photos and told me where he sat. And I'm like, I need to do this. So we sat at the end of Main Street, just on the other side of the Platinum Mickey statue.
It's like right in front of where the Christmas tree and the Mickey pumpkin
like where
are.
the pumpkin is. So right in between, right at that kind of point.
The point.
We sat right at that point. We only, by some Disney magic, we were only camping out there for an hour before the parade started. We lucked out because I thought that was going to be a prime
highly
spot.
recommend. Just grab some food and go sit there. Because by the time you eat and stuff, then the parade's almost gone.
While we were sitting there, the Dapper Dans came out and did a performance. The band came down Main Street, did a performance, but man, magic happened.
Teresa
Catchy
was
song.
so happy because she sat there and she was just hitting her photo thing, and she got so many amazing photos. They looked like promo photos, like Disney promo photos.
They did. Yeah. So just sitting there, you get great interactions with the characters. You get to see up close all of the amazing details on the costumes.
I was 4 feet from Hey.
Plus, you get to, I don't know, you just get to, it's different to be that close than it is to be further away. The thing that's just so incredible is all of the details on these things that, you're building a parade. You expect people to be, far away from it, but there's so many tiny little amazing details on everything. Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
What was your favorite float?
Well, my new favorite character is Merlin. Merlin has my heart.
You were obsessed with Merlin.
Merlin's my new Elliot. We were joking.
Well, she loves his dance.
I love his dance. He's got sweet, sweet moves.
I think my favorite float is the finale float with the fairy godmothers because there's so much nice energy. It's bright. It's colorful.
There isn't one part of that parade that I'm like, I could like take a bathroom break during that part. Like all of it. I love it.
The soundtrack is amazing for that.
Yes. I did get to do some, like I was dancing at the point in the Maui Summit. So like I was doing some move, he mimicked it, and then we were having, not a dance off, but like, that was fun. Just like really cool like character moments like that.
The other thing I want to say, and this is true for any Disney parade, but specifically for this one, especially since it stepped off at Small World, so by the time it got to us, it was towards the end, and these cast members were sweating like crazy. But man, the entire cast of the show,
energy level was still at like 110%.
Shout out, they did an amazing job.
Yes.
As Disney always does. But they were
so good.
Putting their heart and soul into it. They were smiling.
They were.
So we recommend all the entertainment right now, I think. Yes. There wasn't anything that we were like, meh.
No. Like I said, my only critique is the one Moana scene in both of the nighttime spectaculars, but other than that.
But just remember back to when it was Let It Go was in everything.
I know.
All right, well, we're going to head off because we're going to go over to Galaxy's Edge and we're going to record about our Star Wars night information. So that'll come up in another episode later on. But anyway, so live from Toontown.
Yes.
I mean, we'll go back and get our answers to Trivia Land here in a minute. But anyway, we'll be home by the time we record that part. That's so sad.
That's true.
But plenty more to come. We still have Star Wars night we're going to talk about. Later this afternoon, we're going to the Disneyana event, so we'll have some stuff to talk about with that. There's a Disneyana show and sale.
Yep.
And then it's a potential that we might do. We haven't decided 100% yet. We do have a day in Knott's. We're not sure how we're going to cover that for the podcast 100% yet, but there is going to be some of that content coming out too. So, as always, thanks for listening. By the way, it was great to see everybody who we've seen in the parks at the meetups and just around the parks. Just a quick hint, spoiler for Star Wars night. Do you want to just talk about the weekly tier you met?
So we met a couple weekly tiers, but I was blown away. We had a weekly tier dressed as Salacious Crumb that came over, took a photo with us. I did share the photo on Instagram. She was so fun. Her costume was amazing.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was, Vern actually was standing in line waiting for something and like saw the costume.
For the Padme meet and greet, yeah.
Yep, but saw the costume and was like, hey, that's a really great costume. And like, she heard the voice, saw Vern, and like, it clicked in her head like, wait a minute, like you're with DLWeekly. So anyways, it was a very, very fun
She must think we don't hang out together though, because she saw you and Vern and James and I had been off.
Yeah.
And then James and I saw her because we were walking, and all I heard was she walked by and she was tag, and I'm like, who knows me? And then I because you had described the costume,
Yep.
And then she saw you guys later again when we had to split up again. So anyway, shout out to all the weekly tiers.
Yes.
If you ever see us in the park, please come up and say hi. We're more than happy to see you. You'll get a button from us, so you only get if you meet us.
You might need to remind me because I sometimes forget because I'm too excited that we're meeting.
Yeah.
Looks like we're coming in for a landing, gang. But please stay listening until trivia comes to a stop. And then you can walk to the nearest exit. Thanks for listening to the 8th wonder of the world, DLWeekly.
Hello and welcome back to Trivia Land for your VIP experience here.
Wow.
Very great questions this week, making it tough for you.
Especially for me. I'm
confident
terrible.
on one.
And you got your shot for redemption on the last one, but we got to get there first. So Donna has helped out on this one. Talk about bad placement. What was the first store on Main Street in Disneyland located next to the infamous lingerie store that closed? Was only open for about 3 months and made it through the first summer. It was Grandma's Baby Shop.
Oh. I was going to say, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, actually, I think the tobacco shop was there a while.
It did last a little bit longer, yep. So, odd placement. Turns out people didn't want to just do normal shopping at Disneyland. They wanted Disney-branded shopping.
Well, because they had the bra
Wasn't
shop
there also
and everything
like
else.
a piano, like something with pianos?
Might have been.
There were a bunch.
They had a lot of like actual types of things. They had, I think, a pharmacy and everything else.
Apothecary, I believe is the word you're looking for. Yes. So Grandma's Baby Shop is now the Silhouette Studio.
Oh.
That one definitely had a lot more staying power. Our second question this week, in the Fantasyland version of the Mad Hatter shop, which character magically appears and disappears in the mirror over the counter? Teresa knows her Alice. It's Cheshire Cat.
Woohoo! Woo!
If you need more specifics, it's the mirror that has the caterpillar around it to help guide your eyes up to see that one.
Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Who I think a couple episodes ago you learned the name of the caterpillar thanks to Vern. But
I don't remember.
I forgot.
But that's not your question for the week. So.
I think that didn't we say during the trip when you guys were coming up with trivia questions that you could tell us the answers in the park, and by the time you asked them, we would have forgotten them.
You're just proving it to be incredibly true. Anyway, let's move on to the third question. It's kind of confusing that the park has two The Mad Hatter shops, one on Main Street, the other in Fantasyland. There used to be a third with a similar name. Do you know the name of the shop that was open from 1968 to 1987? Tag, you had the land right. It is in Tomorrowland, but you don't have the name of the store right. Atmosphere is a great name. We were looking for the Mod Hatter.
Oh, interesting.
It's a cute little hat shop right next to the Skyway Buckets.
Which is now the Atmosphere. It's that same area under what used to be the Skyway terminal.
I wasn't sure, but that's totally makes sense.
Over by the entrance by the train and the Autopia.
Mm-hmm. So, rebranded. Probably a better fitting name for what it accomplishes now in Tomorrowland. All right, our last question, where I'm going to give you a shot at a second chance. There's your image. My question is, at Disneyland, we got to meet and listen to the second Disneyland ambassador, but I want to know, who was the first Disneyland ambassador to the world?
Well, there's your photo, Teresa.
I'm giving you a photo.
He didn't give us the initial.
And your initials, her first name starts with J, her last name starts with R.
Julie Ream.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Julie Ream.
That was
Good job, Tag.
confident throw out there.
I got Ream. I got
job.
Ream first, and I wasn't confident about the first name for a minute. And I was like, no, it's Julie Ream.
Yep, no, good job, Tag.
So took the initials, not necessarily the image. But hey, I take that as a win. Julie Ream is the correct answer. Well done.
Yay, I got one thing correct this week.
That's one more than last week.
So did I, so we're both failing. It's okay.
There we go.
We're failing together.
And that's just how TNT works, right? Anyway, you heard Take's plea early on. He needs some more possible trivia questions in his eyes. So if you've got some ideas, send them to producer Vern and I. It's trivia@dlweekly.net.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.